It all began with a leak, a single line buried deep in a confidential telegram. But that one line would soon send shockwaves across an entire continent. Ibrahim Traoré, the leader of Burkina Faso, was given a staggering ultimatum. Hand over 70% of the nation's gold reserves within just 48 hours, or pay the entire debt plus interest, totaling a mind-blowing $5.6 billion. The signature at the bottom? None other than Donald J. Trump, then President of the United States, the most influential voice among the G7 nations, and a key figure in the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. But this wasn't merely a political maneuver. It was a full-scale economic strike disguised as diplomacy. The ultimatum stunned not only Washington, but also neutral nations across the G7 and all 19 IMF member countries. There were no negotiations, no concessions, just a stark, cold directive. Surrender your wealth or face crippling financial consequences. The message left no room for ambiguity. Burkina Faso was being told, pay your debt or relinquish 70% of your newly mined gold. This was extortion, plain and simple. And the man behind it wielded power with absolute authority. Sources say the cable didn't simply appear out of nowhere. It was hand-delivered by a trusted intermediary. Representing the G7 were Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva. Exactly at 6:30 a.m. on August 12, 2025, the envelope landed on Captain Ibrahim Traoré's desk. Its contents were unmistakable. Either allow corporations from the US, Canada, the UK, France, and Germany, backed by the IMF, to begin mining and exporting 70% of Burkina Faso's gold immediately, or pay $5.6 billion owed to G7 nations plus an IMF debt of 324 SDRs. The deadline? 48 hours. Refusal would mean sanctions, resource blockades, and engineered internal destabilization. The tone, believed to be Trump's, was rigid, unyielding, almost as cold as steel. We fed you when you were starving. We lent you money. Now it's time to pay your debts or pay the price. But Traoré did not flinch. The most powerful man in Burkina Faso, a soldier of unwavering resolve, immediately called his top political advisors, senior military officials, and trusted mining executives. His message was clear: Burkina Faso is not for sale. News of the ultimatum spread like wildfire. From Lagos to Kinshasa, headlines blared across Africa. The West demands Africa's resources, Burkina Faso given 2-day ultimatum. Yet Traoré didn't respond with pen and paper. He responded with strategy and decisive action. Hidden beneath Burkina Faso's sun-scorched plains was a secret, a colossal mineral deposit, verified by a covert geological task force set up by Traoré shortly after he assumed power. All data was encrypted by North Korean specialists and kept under strict confidentiality. The West noticed immediately. Within 2 days, U.S. intelligence detected unusual energy signatures and tracked shipments of mining equipment from Iran and Venezuela. The signals confirmed it. Gold, hidden and untapped, was now under Burkina Faso's control. Western-backed companies were quietly expelled. The revenue, once flowing to Paris and New York, was redirected into a national silver and development fund. This was no mere act of defiance. It was a blueprint for African sovereignty. And it terrified global powers. They weren't just after gold. They wanted to crush the idea of a self-determined Africa before it could inspire others. Calls came flooding into Washington from elite power brokers. How do we stop this before it becomes another Libya, but African-owned? The answer: leverage Western influence, use Trump's brute force, make Traoré kneel. But Traoré had already chosen his path. Diplomacy? Extortion disguised as business? He saw it clearly for what it was. No foreign power would dictate the future of his land. In the war room, Traoré read the ultimatum twice. Calmly, he remarked, "So this is how they collected debt. Poison in a suit and tie." Without hesitation, he mobilized the Special Sovereignty Force, a covert military unit trained for exactly this scenario. Gold convoys were secured, oil fields locked down, foreign data channels severed, and the national broadcast prepared. By noon, all of Burkina Faso was watching. On live feed, Traoré appeared, uniformed, one hand on the national flag, the other holding a folder stamped Burkina Faso. They are not just demanding debt payment, they are demanding fear. They think we will bow. We will not. We are not Libya. We are not Iraq. We are not your playground. You gave us 48 hours? Here is our answer. Leave our soil. Across Africa, crowds erupted. From Dakar to Dar es Salaam, chants of support filled the streets. Yet the West was in panic. Intelligence agencies scrambled, drones increased surveillance, private contractors moved in, and smear campaigns spread online. But Traoré's influence only grew. The resistance was both military and grassroots. Students, women's groups, and local communities rallied to protect the gold and defend sovereignty. Every attack from Western media was met with humor and resilience. The message was clear. If they hate him this much, he must be doing something right. And Traoré was not alone. Military allies from Mali, Nigeria, and Guinea arrived to bolster Burkina Faso's defenses, declaring, "If you touch Burkina Faso, you touch all of us." This was the birth of a new Pan-African alliance, AES, a shield forged not from treaties, but from shared struggle and vision. China and Russia soon followed, offering technological and military support, gold processing infrastructure, and digital trade platforms that bypassed Western financial systems entirely. Burkina Faso gained full control of its gold value chain, unshackled from the CFA franc and the US dollar. The West was stunned. CNN warned of a dangerous alliance. The U.S. Department of State accused Traoré of siding with dictators. But within Africa, Traoré became a hero, a symbol of courage, leadership, and sovereignty. Young Africans posted videos, remixed news clips, and spread the message, "We protect what's ours." When the 48-hour deadline passed, Traoré took the boldest step yet, nationalizing all gold reserves, permanently removing them from foreign control. Licenses held by G7-backed firms were revoked. Foreign diplomats received the message loud and clear. Burkina Faso's resources are not bargaining chips. Appearing on national television in traditional attire, Traoré declared, "We will no longer kneel. Burkina Faso is not afraid. We will not negotiate with thieves." The streets erupted in celebration. Fireworks lit the sky, drums pounded. Across Africa, solidarity grew. Ordinary citizens, young activists, and diaspora communities joined the movement. The West had failed. Donald Trump tweeted threats, satellites increased surveillance, warships moved, but Traoré's plan was already in motion. Borders were secured, AES allies activated, and ordinary people rose to defend their nation. Traoré had done what many deemed impossible. He rejected the U.S. ultimatum, revealed the global resource grab, allied with major global powers, and united much of West Africa in defiance. He wasn't just a president, he was a movement, a symbol of a new era in African sovereignty. The world watched in disbelief, but for Africa, Traoré's bold stance marked the first deep breath of freedom in generations.